Hello and welcome to Ryan. What's the podcast called?
Oh, I didn't think about
What's
that. I
no,
don't
we
know. We'll
didn't.
figure it out. This is
First
episode
Reform
0.
Take, episode 0, the baseball show. And this is Mike, who is often on this channel, and this is Ryan, who I think is your first time on the channel,
Yeah, I
but
turned
kind of
30
the.
last month, so I'm allowed on the YouTube page now.
That's good. So the idea of this for new people is it's a vanity YouTube where it doesn't really matter. I would ideally all of these have 100 views, no more, no less. And the idea of this show is that we both like baseball and want to talk about it, and I'm not doing any gimmicks for the first episode because I couldn't think of any.
That's right.
So that sounds good, right?
hmm
It's a good
We're
use of
we're we're
everyone's time.
figuring it out on the fly, just like everyone else.
Yeah. Let's open with this. Rafi Devers got 2 hits tonight.
I'm actually just turned the game on so we could further mind meld.
Yeah,
Um, Garrett Crochet. I hope Garrett Crochet throws 200. What if he's just Dylan Cease? What if he can actually just throw 200 innings a year?
it's
We
really funny to bring him out for the eighth, and I appreciate it as a kind of message of we signed him and now we're going to throw his arm out. I love that for my fantasy team, of
Yeah,
course.
I think I think it would be fun if all these guys that are getting extended this week are just all like the best. These are just like the 4 best players in baseball. Like
Genuinely think that
Jackson Merrill,
might be a
Christian
case.
Campbell, Garrett Crochet. They're just gonna be superstars for the next 7 to 10 years and getting paid like
Nothing.
a second line power play unit guy on the Boston Bruins.
Yeah, I don't even know who's our second line power play at this point. Bruins are dead. Um, I'm just going really in depth on the sales. Yeah, see, Crochet just let up a hit. This is why one shouldn't have games on, and two shouldn't let him pitch the
Okay,
eighth.
you're ahead of me because right now he's in a 2-1 count to Urias.
Yeah, he's about to give up a hit to left center field. I'd
Okay.
say probably one of the
Oh
notes
yeah,
I'll
he
give
just
the
hit it.
show is to not live react to
Yeah.
Red Sox games.
Well, it
But
for anyone who has MLB TV, what you can do is you can queue it up. You could either queue it up to be on Wayland's or on my 5 second delay, and you can watch this game that already happened right along with us.
you can watch
Uh,
live as I panic about my scoring in fantasy
um,
baseball, which I just pulled up.
so
What we're doing
we
here
have
is we're
0 agenda.
driving out.
I do
Go
want to
ahead.
talk about Tristan Casas because he seems like he's genuinely like a funny, cool guy. And so I opened up his baseball reference page and I saw that he went to high school at a school called American Heritage High School in Plantation, Florida, which is maybe the worst. That's one of the worst collections of words you can ever uh,
No, yeah, it's
cobble
not
together.
good.
But he seemed to overcome that and is a normal and funny guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he also kind of sucked as bad as Devers this year to start, and
I
just
mean,
kind
who
of.
cares? It's been like 5 games.
I care. I don't know. I
He'll
don't
be
know why
good.
I care. He will be good. Um, by the way, fly ball to center field, 1 out. Let me come up with our topics because I did write some down. Ryan, I wanted to start with the pitch of why we're talking baseball because you are one of, I don't know, like 5 people who like baseball as much as me, who I know, which is nice. Um, and I was in a car ride with my friend Sean. He's a very reasonable person, smart baseball fan, but he was complaining about the state of baseball. And all the stuff about pitchers not going deep into games and too many relief pitchers to follow, which you care more about relief pitchers than I do at this point. Um, I kind of thought I kind of think baseball's back in a big way, and those aren't real problems anymore.
Yeah, no one likes to say this, but Rob Manfred did sort of save baseball in terms of the on the field rules. Uh, Basically every rule that they've implemented since COVID has been a really good idea. The
Nothing's gone wrong except
the
maybe the Tampa Bay. Like,
the
yeah, okay, on
the
field,
fake
nothing's gone wrong.
the fake runner on second is good. It makes extra
Yeah,
innings so much better. Uh, the bigger bases and the disengagement rule makes stolen
Double
bases
play, eight
awesome.
innings. Keep
Um,
going.
like every on the field rule has been incredible, and then everything he's done off the field has been a full blown disaster. Like he basically, when did Manfred even come in? I don't even
I
remember.
want to say 2018.
Okay, so the
I want to say
original
his first. No, Astros win the title. It's his third year. I think 2017. I don't know.
um
First, we're gonna Google this on the fly.
no, okay,
So
this
it's
is
not
actually
Manfred
perfect. So
Mann.
yeah, he came in, he replaced Seelig in 2014.
Okay,
So
so I'm just
this is
wrong.
actually perfect because one of my broader theories of baseball is that the Houston Astros completely broke baseball in ways that people not in the ways people think. I truly don't really care about the trash
Trash
can
cans.
scandal. I don't actually think it helped them. There's actually been a decent amount of study where it didn't really help them at all, and it sounds insane. But I really don't think it helped. But uh, his failure to do anything about it has now put fans into this position where any new thing that happens, like the torpedo bats, they are like, oh, okay, the game's broken. Like everyone is basically like Epstein pilled for baseball now, which
I think
has
another way to put it is they've become like NBA fans who just freak out about fucking
yeah, I mean, it's just
everything.
sort of everything that happens on the internet is like this now.
True.
But the fact that, but what really, the Astros really broke baseball by doing their full cynical teardown that was sponsored by McKinsey. That really broke the sport in like a fundamental way.
Was McKinsey actually? Where was McKinsey's involvement in it?
They brought in McKinsey consultants to help figure out.
Really? Pete
Yeah,
Buttigieg was out there coming up with that
I
plan?
don't think Pete Buttigieg was in the lab. He was doing like the bread fixing in the grocery stores. But
Okay.
yeah, they literally brought in McKinsey to help streamline and maximum efficiency pervert their way into making like an incredible baseball team. Um,
Hats
and
off
then
to them. They did do it.
yeah, uh, but then no one else has really figured that out in quite the same way. And now Mike Elias is has made the Orioles a good baseball team, but refuses to do the part that's actually important, which is supplementing all the young talent, which the Astros did. They brought in like
Yeah.
Justin Verlander and Garrett Cole and all these players, but Mike Elias is too afraid to trade away a player who might become good in the future. So he's just sitting on his hands, and the Orioles are probably just going to win like 92 games a year and then not win in the playoffs, sort of Moneyball Mark One
I'm not
style.
even sure they'll go 90. I'm an Orioles hater, although they've proven, decent to start. Just for the same reasons you said that they're not doing anything with it.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll see.
well, we'll see, but I think you're right. They won't hit anything in the playoffs. Losing Corbin Burns, I did want to talk about Corbin Burns, so maybe we can get into this. We have a few like good ideas for the show besides what this is, um, which is just chatting. But
Yeah,
Corbin Burns is at maybe the top of my pitcher to watch a game of power rankings right now. I
really,
watched
because
him, yeah.
I think he's fallen off because 2021 was his big breakout year. I mean, I guess 2020 he was good, but that was a fake season. And 2021 he was like incredible because he's throwing like 98-mile cutters, and it's like,
Mhm.
what the hell is going on? But he's like kind of lost his velo since then, and he's become more of like a control kind of guy.
But
Uh,
that's where it is, where I'm with him on it.
but he's like not as good at that. Like he's better at being like the mow him down guy.
No,
I
I
don't
mean
really
he
get
gave
what
me a
he's
bit of a
doing.
panic attack last night. It's just that the ball can move anyway, and he has a five pitch arsenal that kind of all looks vaguely the same and then tails very differently.
Yeah, because like
And he makes
he's
people look really stupid with it.
he's like
It's
turning
awesome.
into Lance Lynn.
Well,
It's like
that's mean.
Lance Lynn was really good for a while. Like
Yeah, but no
he
one
was a
wanted to watch Lance Lynn.
I know
I
that's
didn't
what I'm
turn on a
saying.
Lance.
Like
Yeah,
he's
but I want to watch him, and he's on my team, so he's good.
yeah, I have him on one of my squads too, but he kind of got a little bit lit up by the Yankees.
Yeah, it wasn't
Um
ideal.
he'll be fine
But he
though.
was really good at the start, and then I turned it off when he was losing because I don't like watching that as much, and I had to go to bed.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I like the control guys a little more
I mean,
to
Skeens
watch.
is Skeens
Yeah.
is the best pitcher in baseball. He's so like watching him today against the Rays, like he didn't even like look that good for him, and he went seven scoreless and gave up like three hits and struck out eight or something
I'm
crazy.
boycotting Skeen starts, man. I don't
It's
like
the
him.
it's the best thing to watch in baseball
It's
right now. It's so
it's so
good.
annoying.
I don't get why you and Seth hate him so much.
I
He's like a
he
perfect
annoys
idiot
me.
too. Like he literally listens to Civil War podcasts to get hyped up for starts. Like that's so crazy. It's awesome. And
I'm gonna
he looks
be.
like shit too. Like
He looks
he's got an
terrible.
awful beard and like he's representing us with like bad skin. Uh it's really awesome what he's doing. And he's that splinker is crazy.
I think there's still for me. I don't know what the wait period is, but for when I'm wrong about a guy, how long it's gonna take me to like get off hating him. And I didn't. I thought Schemes was a fake hype. Like, yeah, I thought he'd be fine. I didn't think he was worth investing in any fantasy leagues, and
Yeah.
I might have been very wrong
I've
about
decided
that.
he's awesome. I've taken a whole new approach to completely flipping on being a hater where last year me and Seth were super in the tank for hating on Jackson Churio because we didn't understand why like the Eric Long and Hagen crowd was so into him, and then he it turns out Jackson Churio is like insanely good and
Yeah, he
he's really
is.
fun to watch, and I've decided he's awesome.
Well, you're less of a hater than the two of us, for sure. Although I don't think I'm much of a hater in baseball. Just there's a bizarre matrix I have with pitchers and watching pitchers that I'm trying to figure out because it's
Yeah,
not how good they are. It's just it's on one hand this pure vibe of if they're psycho in a cool way or an annoying way, and then
yeah,
how confident I can be watching them that they won't walk someone in a really annoying way because it makes me lose my mind
yeah.
when
My
someone does
my
annoying walks, which is where I could turn on Corbin Burns in the future because when he loses his control, I will start to freak out.
Yeah, I can't even really make sense of like my rubric for hating players. Like it's I don't even get to choose it. Like Kyle Schwarber, I will hate forever for
Why?
no real
Shorbo.
reason. He was I mean, he was a part of that Cubs team, which I just disagree with that whole project and the
Of
result.
the Chicago Cubs,
The
yeah. I
Chicago Cubs and especially like them winning in 2016, even though that was probably the best World Series in my
have you ever
lifetime.
been to Wrigley?
No, I went to
I don't
Chicago
like
once
Wrigley.
for like 2 days when I was like 14, and we didn't go to a Cubs game, which I do regret. But I would like to go there for a Padres game.
I had
Uh,
the absolutely electric take of liking guaranteed rate field more than Wrigley,
I
which
mean, it
everyone's
seems
mad at
cool.
me for. But, and I mean, I just hated Wrigley. I was in standing room for Wrigley, and it was just terrible. But we were
Yeah.
two-a-daying the trip. We did a day game and a night game at the
Oh,
White Sox, and it
that's
was
kind of
hot.
intense.
The
Okay,
day
yeah,
I went
somewhere
just to
that's
see a
tough.
Cardinals Cubs game was cool, I admit. But I also was just rooting on the Cardinals because I had Ryan Franklin, who, do you remember Ryan Franklin, their closer?
Uh, oh,
He had a
barely.
pointy beard. It was like a 2010,
Okay.
2012 guy.
Oh yeah,
He was a good closer.
he was on the Mariners for a little while.
Yes, he was a Mariner for a touch. He moved around. I was just rooting for the save the whole game because I didn't care about the Cubs. Which is part of my fantasy baseball just psychosis of how it's because I don't really care about most of the teams, obviously. I'm a Red Sox fan, but I'm constantly angry at them. Until this
Yeah.
year. Now I'm kind of in again.
One of the benefits to having to abandon the A's is that uh you can just like whatever teams and players you like now. Because when I was a child, I was like I was basically like a fundamentalist for the Oakland A's. Like I couldn't imagine liking anything else other than like the players on the A's and like the Oakland A's. Like the only player outside of the A's I liked was Torrey Hunter, which really did not age well. But Um, Now it's like, oh, I could just like all these players basically. Like
My
I I want the Dodgers to lose, but like most of their players are like Shohei is obviously insanely cool. Mookie's awesome. Kershaw and Freddie Freeman are evil and they should be
hey,
crucified.
no,
But
there are good
uh,
boys. I have a
mo
Kershaw jersey.
well, he's you can wear it to the whatever their faith and
Church.
family night is.
Yeah.
Um, I guess we should probably talk about the Dodgers. I think people this is another example of people being mad for the wrong reasons.
Yep.
Um, the Dodgers spending a shitload of
Wait, this
money.
was in your preview. You write a blog.
Yeah,
This was good. I
I
read this. I liked it.
yeah, I guess we should. I guess I can plug my
Yeah,
Substack
plug
now.
your shit.
I have a Substack. We
I don't
can
know
just
why
keep
you're plugging it.
erasing
We have like we're gonna have 15 listeners,
it. Uh,
but
anyway,
tell Adam Stockford to read it. I don't know.
yeah, the
Adam.
Dodgers spend a lot of money, which is good. Every team should be doing that. They're insanely good at developing talent. Um, and like they keep getting good players. They win a World Series and like we should get even better. Like no team does that. And they should. Um, and like last year they were a game away from getting eliminated in the division series by a division rival for the third year in a row. They were a laughing stock because everyone always calls it the Mickey Mouse Championship in 2020. They
Never
hadn't
agreed
won
with
like
that, but
they they hadn't won like an actual World Series since 1989. They always like ate shit in the playoffs. They were the running joke of the league because they're like those bumbling colossus or whatever. And and then they win the World Series.
and now
And
they're
now everyone has
unstoppable.
decided that they'll never lose a game, and they've sort of retroactively decided that they always win.
Yep.
One of my
Yep.
new favorite hobbies is going into the athletic comment section because you get to see a lot of old men get really pissed off. It's pretty fun to just pass the time at work, and people have decided that they win every year. Like they people, I think there's like this collective psychosis where people think the Dodgers have won the last three World Series just
I
because
think
they
they
won the most
confuse them with
recent
the
one.
Kansas City Chiefs. Dead
Yeah,
serious. I think
like,
they like merge them
and then
together.
you're also seeing this with like like March Madness discourse, where all the one seeds made the Final Four this year because like it was really top heavy this year in college basketball,
Yep.
and they're like, oh, NIL has killed the upset. It's like a 15 seed made the Elite Eight like 2 years ago. Like
I think the
it,
stat for March Madness was they always added up the four seeds to above 10 for the last 10 years. Something
yeah,
like that
and
since the last time this
yeah,
kind of
so
happened.
it's
It's
like
very
an
rare.
11, like North Carolina State was an 11 seed and they made the Final Four last year. Like I think just no one can remember anything. And it's also not a big deal if there's like a dynasty. Like baseball has been defined by dynasties. Like obviously the Yankees win the World Series all the time except for in the last 16 years, which has been
Yep,
awesome.
hooray. I would
Um
say there haven't really been any in the last 25 years. I don't count the Giants, really.
no, that wasn't a real dynasty. That was just like crazy. But like, I mean, I think you can call this iteration of the Dodgers like at least the main character of the last like 5 years, whereas the
Yeah, like the
Astros
Braves were
or like the
in the
Astros. No,
90s.
but yeah, in the 90s and like the Yankees, like there's always just one team who's just like always really good. Like it's been like that forever. Like and it's gonna keep being like that just because it's sort of just the way baseball is constructed, and it's the way all these sports are constructed. Like Man City has won like the last five Premier Leagues or whatever, and
Yeah,
like
yeah, Man
the
City
Chiefs,
doesn't
the
count
Chiefs
as
are always in
much.
the Super Bowl, and like the Warriors were really good for a while. And now it's going to be the Celtics. Like
Yeah,
this
even hockey
happened.
has a certain extent of teams that are always good, always at the top. I mean, the
Yeah,
Bruins were not missing the playoffs until this year when they, by the way, are doing an awesome job tanking and might get a good lottery pick. But
and baseball is like the stupidest thing to complain about this with because the
ugh,
playoff format is
Darren
specifically
Duran.
designed to make sure that the best team doesn't win. Like that's
Yep.
literally the thesis of Major League Baseball
And
playoffs
what
is that
happened? What happened? I'll ask you to all the crying Atlanta Braves fans who said it's actually bad to win the regular season.
yeah, and
And it's
like
actually a disadvantage. What happened to
and
that?
okay, so last year it was Yankees Dodgers, which hadn't happened in our lifetimes, and that used to happen all the time because there used to only be like 4 teams in baseball.
Yep.
But the year before that, it was the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Like we don't have a problem right now. It's completely fine.
It's
Baseball is
future
completely
casting a
fine.
problem,
Yeah, they're
like
just like
doomsaying.
imagining something. And like also if the Dodgers win the next 3 World Series, like I will not be having a fun time about that, but it will be fine. Like it's
Yeah,
fine.
honestly, I don't care. Like I'll feel okay. I was rooting for the Dodgers last year because I wanted Shohei to win mostly, and two because they hadn't won, and it annoyed me that they didn't have their credit kind of for how good they had been, which
Yeah.
kind of is a thing I always feel across sports is that I want teams to have the rings that represent how good they were so they're not
Yeah.
forgotten. And so I felt pretty strongly on the Dodgers for that. Also, I like adopted the Dodgers in the mid tens. Just I don't know what I was doing in the mid tens, but wasn't anything good. And I was up at night a lot watching Clayton Kershaw starts for like 4 years.
Yeah,
I had
the
like
East.
barely missed any of his because I just loved watching him, and I loved the last kind of years of Vin Scully, who I actually think was as good as people say. So yeah, I liked the Dodgers. So all the whining about that is just very stupid. We gotta talk whining about the torpedo bats, even though I'm doing it because I find it fun. But I'm whining about the torpedo bats because it's funny too. Other people are whining about them for the wrong reasons,
Yeah,
I
this is just
think.
another thing of no one remembers 4 days ago. Like the it's fine. The Yankees hit a lot of home runs because Nestor Cortez was throwing 88 miles fastballs right down the
And they
pipe.
know who he, yeah, I think I saw they had the most sub 90 fastballs
Yeah,
a team
and
saw.
it was like 80 degrees and the wind was blowing out and like it's Nestor Cortez. Like Nestor Cortez
And they
is
know him.
famously the last time Nestor Cortez pitched, he gave up a grand
He
slam
died.
to Freddie Freeman, who had a broken rib and a broken
One,
ankle.
yeah, yeah.
So, um, I think we
Oh, the
can just
Yankees are
say
so
Nestor
cool in
Cortez
the
is not good at
playoffs.
baseball anymore, and he had a bad one. And then they brought in a guy who's never pitched in Major League Baseball before, and he also just gave up a shitload of homers. And also, Aaron Judge is not using a torpedo bat, so half the home runs they hit were just with a normal bat that everyone else uses. And people were using torpedo bats last year.
Yep.
Francisco Lindor of the New York Mets, the other New York team, has a signature torpedo bat. Like you
Yeah,
can
he's
buy it
gonna
on
make
the
bank
computer.
on that, by the way, if he's
Like
getting a percentage, was
these
my
have
thoughts.
these have been around and nobody noticed because it doesn't actually make that big of a deal. Like it will be better for some players, but now that everyone's buying them, a lot of players are going to realize, oh, this isn't good for me. Like we've seen this with like the axe handle or like the hockey puck on the bottom of the bat. Like it works better for some people, but like it's not like this is just like you're adding like a metal bat to your arsenal. Like
I
if it,
think the concern I have on the torpedo, it would be cool if they let one player use a metal bat, by the way. Just make the DH, he gets a metal bat. I think
no, just
my
like
concern with
the last guy on the roster, like whoever the like utility guy who's like has a
oh no, you know
74
what?
OPS, get a
The
metal.
last out of the game, you
Okay,
get a
yeah,
metal
do
bat.
that instead
Now
of
we're
the golden
cooking.
at bat.
Yeah. Ooh,
Also,
extra
everyone
innings metal bats.
speaking of another thing that everyone freaked out about, the golden at bat that is now just completely forgotten and will never happen.
Yeah, I hated that, but maybe not as much as everyone else did. I
I
kind
hated
of
it too.
I was listening to it, which is more than maybe I should have. I don't mind. I definitely don't mind reshuffling your order to the top in the 10th inning.
Yeah, that
That's fine
sounded
for
like a
me.
good alternative.
That's like whatever. We start with hitter one in the 10th. Go for
Yeah,
it.
that's fine to me.
Um, those I guess the only worry with the torpedo bats is like it becomes a huge thing, and the worst players sell out for power because it ups them, and the good players don't use it. But like that's a future problem that isn't even based on anything other than me like thinking of the worst outcome.
Yeah, and that's
Like it's
kind of
based
what
on
always
nothing.
been happening. Like if you're a
Well,
club
that
owner,
too.
you're trying to do
That is
everything
the
you can to
thing.
stay in. So
But I just don't want them selling out for pure home runs because, you know, I don't know. No one, people complain about that. And I don't think that's as bad of a thing as everyone's whining about, but I
no,
do think it's bad. Let's talk about something good. I think I meant to transition to this after you talked about the Astros breaking baseball. The Braves kind of re broke baseball off the field to me like 3 years ago when they ran their racket scheme of just getting everyone to cheap contract extensions.
Yeah.
Um, and now my Boston Red Sox have done it with Kristen Campbell for 8 years, 60 million, with two absolutely terrible options. Once Trump inflation hits,
Yeah, that's
21
crazy
million will
because
be
like
like nothing.
the Jackson Merrill thing is similar where his is like it's not much better. It's like 9 years and 135 million or something like that. And then it has like a club option at the end, which is like who the and okay, so I was like
No.
my first thought was okay, Jackson Merrill signed with the same agency that Ozzy Albies and Ronald Acuna have. But then I looked it up and he's signed to KHG agency and their list of guys I've never heard of almost all of these. And the ones I have heard of are like quad A guys. Like
Oh,
it's
Austin Davis,
really
Jacob
grim.
Webb, Jason Hancock. I've got it
Yeah.
on the thing.
Like I honestly think that they were about to go out of business and they were like, Jackson, we need you to do us a solid. Please just sign an extension so we can like keep this afloat for another year. Or the other
I've
alternative I
genuinely
have,
got no one here I know except maybe Jordan Brewer sounds familiar.
yeah, it's like Alec Jacob is on there, who's like the fifth inning guy for the Padres. He's honest. You should look up Alec Jacob. The way he throws the baseball is so cool to me. Um, but
I'll do
uh,
my Alec Jacob research tomorrow.
yeah. But I also think if the going out of business thing isn't what happened, I think AJ Preller would just like told Xander Bogaerts like, okay, listen, you're gonna have to pay Jackson Merrill like an extra 100 mil
You're,
because
yeah,
uh,
under the table Xander
yeah.
contract. Um, Maybe Sedane Rafaela can give some of his extension. The Sedane Rafaela one will be mostly fine. I just don't think he's a starter in the league.
No.
More of a utility guy.
That was like a
Um,
weird one because like it didn't ever seem like they thought he was gonna be like a real guy.
I know I don't get. I mean,
Like
that was what's his name? My guy, Heim Bloom. That's a Heim piece for sure. I don't really understand what he was doing with that. Maybe he just really wanted to spend money, and that was the only thing he could convince Henry of. Like, no, we're gonna do the Braves model. Look, it's like,
yeah,
well, not really the guy to do it on, although it wasn't that much. It's just kind of a weird statement of intent. Maybe they wanted to build a culture so that they could like maybe he's playing 5D chess there. He wants to sign Meyer, he wants to sign Campbell, he wants to sign all these guys. So it's like take care of him. All of a sudden everyone will do it. And if that's the case, hats off to Heim Bloom, who is
yeah. I
one
mean,
of
so
the
far it's
most
working.
unfairly maligned people in baseball to
Yeah,
me.
he's if the if this iteration of the Red Sox, I mean, I don't really know like how they could have like sort of a Sixers style thing where like they're always good but they never win the World Series, and like
Oh,
then
that could
Heim
happen
Bloom
super easy.
then Heim Bloom would become like the Sam Hinkie figure.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't know. I mean, trading for Garrett Crochet is kind of like, no, we're actually smart at this too. Because isn't Craig Breslow the GM?
Yeah, it's Craig Breslow. He's good. Breslow developed a lot of pitchers. Was Breslow out of St. Louis or San Fran? Can't be
I
St.
don't know.
Louis.
He was a
I th
reliever in Oakland for a while.
yeah, I think he came out of San Fran's front office, but I'm not sure. I know there are a lot of ties with those. I mean, San Fran's evil. I hate the Giants. They
Yeah,
are very low on my rankings.
it sucks that like Matt Chapman decided to just kind
Go
of
there. That's a tough
bow out.
scene for you.
Yeah, and Bob Melvin. I think the Padres the last two seasons, like last year and now the start of this year, has kind of proven that Bob Melvin is completely cooked.
Yeah.
He's doing Moneyball 1.0 shit. Like he's just like an old man. He like clearly did not have the clubhouse in San Diego, and then Mike Schilt came in and he was like, "Yeah, we're actually a good baseball team." And then they're like, "Oh yeah, we are a good baseball team." And
I
now they're
think we
7-0.
should I think we should rank managers on some really
Oh yeah,
obscure
we could do
metric.
that.
Can we do
We could
that?
do that.
Like
Yeah, in a future episode for sure.
maybe we do. I'm trying to think like whether or not I would be able to talk to them for more than 5 minutes as one whatever. And then also, I don't know what the other one is. I'm just really thinking about how long you could talk to a baseball manager about
Yeah.
anything. And like if you see any light behind their eyes anymore, or if it's just gone. It's just like Cylon kind of, not even Cylon's had personality. Um, just kind of a, well, innies from Severance have personality too. I don't know. Something really dead and just a representative for the front office. Maybe Natalie from Severance is kind of what I'm thinking. I did say I want to talk Severance on this show
Yeah.
previously,
I've seen the
but
back half of season one of Severance, which
so
is
crazy.
a
Season
really
two is
annoying thing to
really
tell
where it
people.
leaps, though. Season for me, that's where it
Yeah,
became a spiritual show for me.
I've decided that I have to wait until the show is completely over until I
That'd be like
re-up on
20
it.
years the way things go nowadays.
Yeah, I'm just
Rebuilds and
also I'm
everything
not
take
good at
forever.
watching I'm not good at watching TV shows, which women love it when you tell them that you are not good at watching TV. That's something that gets them really excited. But like
Dude,
today my
nothing.
TV habits were I watched the entire Pirates Rays game and then I watched the entire Padres Guardians game and then I watched the last two innings
Pretty good.
of the Mets game and then I watched the last two innings of the Red Sox game.
Yeah, did you
And
see
now
Chapman
the
just made a save? Hooray.
Red Sox game is over, so then I'm gonna put it on. Let's see, what's a good game happening right now?
I don't know.
This is
We
this
could.
is really good
We
podcast.
are going to be doing our MLB TV power rankings. That's kind of our pilot episode. This is our
Yeah,
episode 0. It's just to kind of a letter of intent, say we're here. Boston Celtics are down 21 to the Miami Heat, by the way.
that doesn't
Um,
sound very good.
Derek White hit a three when I came on, so that's my guy. Um, I can't think, well, what other topics we're watching on baseball. I mean, it's early days. We could talk some Cy Young ideas, but I really do think Skeens is just going to run away with it in the NL, besides
Yeah,
injury
if
at this
as long
point.
yeah, I mean that's the thing with every pitcher as long as they're healthy.
I know.
It's like clearly Skeens is the best.
But it's
And
like
then in the
very clearly
AL,
Skeens.
I don't know. In the AL, who are the top guys this year?
Well, Crochet's there.
Yeah,
He's pretty favored, I think. I don't know. Want me to look it up? I usually have these
I'm just
up.
going by. I mean, Scooble could repeat, but that's really rare. Logan Gilbert, I love. And he always throws 200 innings.
Oh
So
yeah,
if he
Cole Reagans
kind of
definitely
pop,
has a shot here. My guy, Cole Reagans, the Ray guy.
uh, oh well, I feel like I mean it's probably just Degrom, right? If he would only have to throw like 120 innings. I was looking at Degrom's
I
Fangraphs
know.
earlier today, and I think we've all forgotten that in 2021 he threw 92 innings and he had 4.9 WAR.
I
Like
haven't. I
his
really haven't.
his game
It's
log that
insane.
year is so cool. Like I remember watching a lot of those. Like,
Yeah, I
and
watched pretty much every DeGrom
the
start in
moment
those
I
years.
decided that I loved Jazz Chisholm was in like there was a game that year where DeGrom was like just absolutely annihilating them, and then he threw like a 100-mile-an-hour fastball like a foot above the zone that Jazz Chisholm just turned on and hit for a homer. It's like one of the most impressive things I've ever seen a baseball player do. Yeah, so in this game, Jacob DeGrom threw 8 innings. He gave up the 1 run to Jazz Chisholm on a homer, and he struck out 14 and he walked 0.
Yeah, I was thinking about DeGrom in all well, I only do the one redraft on purpose, but I punted on him because I honestly like DeGrom a little too much, and I don't want to get invested in him again emotionally. Because the years I was like really into DeGrom is kind of like while I was dealing with I really want Shohei to win one. DeGrom has won a ring technically now, right? With the Rangers, just
Yeah, but
like,
he threw,
but he
let's
wasn't
see,
pitching in it,
he
and
he did pitch that year, but he got
but he
hurt.
didn't pitch in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
he had
So it's the
30 innings
Acuna
that
ring
year, and
issue.
it was in like April and May.
This is actually one of my biggest baseball issues. And it's probably to do with some sort of undiagnosed OCD, but it's not having the ring for the guy who doesn't pitch in or play in the playoffs on their baseball reference or Wikipedia
Oh
because you're not
yeah,
on the playoff roster.
yeah,
We got to get Donald Trump to do something about that.
yeah.
Elon Musk, this is
I think this
inefficient.
would be a yeah, this would be a good thing for Doge to look into.
I I need Acuna to have that representative ring. He earned it. He was really good that year. I think he was like on MVP pace or something. 2021, two. I don't know when the Braves win. It's recently. I was in college again. MLB Rookie of the Year odds. I just want to say, Campbell has shot well past Jason Dominguez. Dylan Cruz over here for Washington. I kind of like Matt Shaw as my play there, plus 375. But I don't know. The rookie class is good, I will say. And I do think Manfred's dumb rule with the draft pick for calling someone up by the
Yeah,
first game is another place where he kind of cooked.
yeah, I like that. I also forgot, I was reading this today about the Christian Campbell thing. The reason they signed him today and not like before the season is because if you sign them before they debut, they don't, they're
Yep,
ineligible for that
someone said
rule.
that. Yeah, that's so dumb.
Yeah.
That okay, maybe he didn't cook, but it was
But
good.
it is funny that they're like, yeah, I mean, you could wait like 2 days after opening day, that it's fine. Like it doesn't, it's
Yeah,
yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Vlad Guerrero shouldn't have 18 to 1 MVP odds. I mean, I guess 18 to 1 is fair, but I just
But
don't
like,
feel like he's the
how
fifth
often
best
does a
player in the
first
AL.
baseman? I mean, I guess Shohei won as a DH, so I don't really know. But
Yeah, but Vlad is not the fifth best player to me in the
also, okay,
AL.
this is another thing.
We
I've
disagree
been
with rankings too, because I'm a cowboy on them. So that's a fun thing we can go over.
the the Blue Jays are really they really bum me out. Like Andres Jimenez is hitting cleanup.
Uh,
He's also like he has like a 2000 OPS right now because he hits a homer every time. But I just think like aesthetically, if Andres Jimenez is your cleanup hitter, like you are not a good baseball team.
Easton Lucas is a terrible name. Um,
Yeah, I don't care for that.
I just don't like the Blue Jays. They're 5-2, which is better than I thought they were going to
They used to
start.
be really fun because there was the Jose Bautista era.
Well, that was awesome.
I mean, I've been wanting to do a video where I just watched the seventh inning of that ALDS game when he hit that seventh
I
inning
liked that idea.
when he
It
hit
would
the
get
homer.
pulled.
That the top and bottom of that inning is like the
It's so
single best
crazy.
inning because like
It's cinema. It's really good.
top of that inning is like maybe even crazier than the homer, like with all like
The fights, kind of, or
the fights and
scuffles.
then and like there's like this weird ass like scramble play. Like it's
Is it
really
at third
bizarre.
base? The
I
scramble
think it
play?
was either at third or home. And
I
one of my
remember
favorite
a little
things
of it.
is that I think it was either the first or the third base ump just has a monumentally large dip in the whole time. Like it looks like he has a baseball in his mouth. Like it is one of it's I need to start showing that to people who are unconvinced that baseball is fun because like I remember I was watching that at my college home because I skipped class to watch the game, and I was like running around the house because it was just like such a crazy game.
We have less than a minute left before we get cut off. I'm saying successful idea. We
Yeah,
come in next time with I think we're going to do MLB TV power rankings because I have a lot to say on that. It might be a
yeah,
two-parter. Um, there are a lot of teams we're boycotting. I'm not going to watch an A's game. I'm not going to watch a Rockies game. I'm not going to watch a few games unless I'm forced to.
yeah.
There's a real
Sort of
hell tier in there.
I've sort of have just like a working mental list when I open up MLB TV. Like
Mets, Padres.
you can just like eliminate half the teams right off the rip. There
Yeah,
have
the
been some really
Cardinals
bad matchups
broadcast is
already.
tough. I've had a lot of bad times at the Cardinals broadcast.
Yeah.
Lando's
Also, aren't they one of
BBQ
like the
really successful.
FanDuel Sports Network? All the